She drew a square and she said, okay, you're here inside the square and you need to go out of the square to see the magic happen. I had some difficulties. Of course, I had imposter syndrome. I doubted myself a lot.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Hello Moxie. Today I am joined by the lovely Inès Baccari, who is tuning in from the beautiful City of Lights, Paris. And I'm so excited to have her on the show today. She is such a light and doing such great work in the tech space and mentoring and personal branding. And it's an honor to have her on the show. Inès, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you, Nicole. I'm so glad to be here with you today. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun and talk. I will share my experience with you and I'm happy about that. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And we can just talk about all the amazingness of Paris. And I mean, wouldn't that be a joy? We could just have a whole episode all about the food and the culture and all of that. And I would be so happy. So it's so great to have you on the show. I'd love for you to tell our listeners a little bit about who you are and what's lighting you up. What's lighting you up today?
So I'm a lead product designer. So I work in tech. My last experience was in data management software company. And I'm also a career mentor. So I help women in tech build an authentic personal brand. So then they can stand out in the market. And that's actually what's light me up to help others reach their goals. So, yeah.
I love the work that you're doing. It's so important. Personal branding, I know from my own experience, has completely changed my career and elevated my career. It's really, my network has just expanded so incredibly because of the work that I put into my personal brand. And every day I'm just so grateful for the wonderful people like you that I have in my community that I truly would not have been introduced to if I wasn't intentional and took the time to really be thoughtful about what's my personal brand and showing up for myself authentically online and in all the places where people are. So I cannot, I just support the work you're doing so much. It's such a difference maker, especially as AI continues to play such an important role in our economy and in the workplace. Really, the only thing that's going to separate us from other people is our own personalities, right? Like that's the thing that differentiates us and the differences, and that's what connects us. We want to connect with other people. So I love this work you're doing. It's so important.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you're right, actually. Our story is so important, and to put it out there, to let the people know what makes the difference. So personal branding is important, and it's important to do it your own way as well, and not be too overwhelmed about it. Like I used to be overwhelmed about just hearing the words personal branding. So I'm trying my best to guide women and do it and doing it intentionally. So,
well, I have to ask. Okay, so this is a little bit of a side road, but like this is so cool because I think this might be the first show where we've had two curly girls together on the same episode. So I'm like loving it. We're both like rocking our curly hair. It's so amazing. So, and your curly hair is incredible. Like you have so much volume.
Thanks. Yeah.
I have to know, what product do you use for your hair?
Oh, I'm using Kalia. Do you know this brand?
No. How do you spell it so I can look it up?
Kalia.
Beautiful.
And I mean, trust me, I've tried so many brands and so many routine for my hair, and this one, I love it so much.
Yeah.
And I mean, volume, it takes time, but with this.
Yeah, what's great about it has the volume, but it's not frizzy. It's just beautiful and full and all the things that every curly girl wants their hair to be.
Because it's a good day. Sometimes you have bad days.
So true. It's so true. And you never know, right? Like, don't you find that to be true? Like, it's such a random thing with curly hair. You do never know from day to day how it's going to show up. And
Exactly.
sometimes it totally surprises you in the best way. And you're like, I didn't do anything different, but this is how it is,
They
So
control you, actually, and not the other way around.
it's true. Actually, having curly hair is like a perfect metaphor for life and like just rolling with the punches because you never know what you're going to get.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Well, I love it. I'm going to check out this product, and I'm just, I'm delighted to have another curly girl that I can commiserate with. So anyway, that's so amazing. Well, I think your journey into tech is so interesting and not unusual. So I've met with quite a few women in tech on this show and at events that I've been at in my work in B2B e-commerce and in the e-commerce space. And I've noticed kind of a common pattern where a lot of the women I've met in tech had a previous career not in tech, where they were, they worked in a completely different industry. Some of them went to college and they studied English and literature. They were writers, and then they ended up becoming software engineers. And so I'm curious to hear about your own journey, because I know you haven't always been in tech. You were in the travel industry before you moved into tech. So tell us a little bit about your journey. What inspired you to maybe start in the travel industry, and what inspired this pivot into tech?
Well, to start in the travel industry, my goal was to travel, to discover new cultures, and that was the first thing I wanted to do, actually. So I made it. I worked for Emirates airline. So for 6 years, I was based in Dubai, and fly all over the world. So that was an amazing experience. And the funny thing is that on layover, sometimes I would take my pen and paper and just draw things that will inspire me during my travels. So then it all started from there. I was drawing things. Then I started to get curious about graphic design, colors, typographies. So I took classes during layovers. I could be in Tokyo when I had time. I would draw things, take classes in Mauritius. Trying my best to build my skills for the next move. And actually, the next move came quickly because COVID happened. So thanks to COVID, I managed to do my career change. I actually saw an ad for women in tech, for a tuition to push women entering tech. So that was something that felt so far away from me. Tech world, I had this image strict and really technical. I was like, well, that's not for me. But I just checked the tuition and kind of pictured myself in this environment. I applied, got the tuition, applied for a boot camp about UX UI designer, and the journey started there. Actually found out the missions about the UX UI position kind of fit my experiences as a flight attendant. So, I always like to say that user experience stands for sorry, I'll just go back. But UX experience stands for user. UX stands for user experience, right? So our goal is to improve the experience in digital product. What I did as a flight attendant was to improve the experience of passengers. So Emirates actually trained us a lot about developing a high sense of empathy, collaboration, observation, active listening, and to give an amazing experience to those travelers. So that's actually, those are transferable skills that I actually relied on. And I was like, okay, and my love for graphic design and design, it's perfect. It's a perfect fit for me. So let's do it. And I took that.
And the rest is history.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So I got to know, okay, so many questions. What was your favorite place that you visited while you were a flight attendant?
Oh,
Did you have a favorite, or do you have a special memory of one of the places that you visited that you just fell in love with, that you were surprised by?
that's a very hard question. I got it so many times, and it's really hard to answer that question because it always depends on the experience you have in the destination, with who you are flying with, and what memories you have with them, what state of mind you are when you're traveling as well. If you're jet lagged and you go to a destination, it won't be the same. But the one that I really liked was one of my first layover was in Beijing, in China.
Ooh, yeah.
And I really loved it because it was the first time that I completely switched, and I felt so kind of lost in a country that I didn't know, a culture that I didn't know. It was so far away from my culture. So I have this souvenir, this memory of this layover and this country. So I would say that's one of my favorites. But I have so many more and so many souvenirs as well.
Yeah, amazing. I will say, like, that is like my ideal day. My ideal of the perfect day would be for someone to just like drop me in a completely new country, culture that I don't know the language. I know, like, it's so foreign to everything. Someone just drop me in there and I would just like get to explore and, experience that for the very first time with my little writing notebook, and then just find a place where I could write. Like you mentioned how on your layovers you love to draw, like I love to write. So that would be like my dream. So that sounds incredible and amazing. I am so glad you had that experience, to see the world that way. And it seems like it was such a natural transition for you to move into product design. Yeah, I mean, as you share, like, and I think it just highlights how transferable our skills are and can be. Like, a lot of times I think people get so caught up, like, oh, well, I can't switch to this other industry because I haven't been trained in it or I don't know it. And that you can kind of like uh, talk yourself out of it without recognizing that whatever skills, strengths that you have in the current career that you're in, there's a lot of skills there that can very easily transfer to tech or to another industry. And today it's just so important that people recognize and be open to the change, because things are changing so fast that we have to kind of build this appetite for change. We have to build this willingness to embrace the change and the uncertainty because of how fast things change. So have you noticed, like, how hard was the transition for you when you moved into the tech space? Was it a difficult transition, or what were some struggles or challenges that you noticed?
Yes, it sounds really natural, but it was kind of challenging as well. So now I've learned the lessons. So now I can position myself in a good way to make it natural. But it's true that I had some difficulties. Of course, I had imposter syndrome. I doubted myself a lot. It was kind of a journey. Let's say a journey. I managed to get there, but I had to work on myself, and I think that's what helped me. By let's say, start identifying the things I love and the things I don't love, to really choose a path that I really need and that I would love to do as a career. Like you mentioned, transferable skills, translating and adapting as well our previous skills is so important. And I've noticed as well that your past experience is so valuable in a career change, and we tend to forget that. I was not starting from scratch. It's like I had my background, my experiences, and when you apply, when you're in that cycle of applying and going in front of recruiters, you tend to to think that you need to prove that you're just a UX designer, and you need to prove that, okay, I'm the UX designer, so I will act like a UX designer. But you tend to forget your previous experience, and you put yourself in a position as a newbie. And
Interesting. Yeah.
kind of wrong to do that, because I had many interviews. It took about 10 months after my boot camp to find a job, my first job. And so I had a lot of interviews and rejections and everything. So I could see that I was not positioning myself right to those jobs offer. And to tell you a small story, I actually almost gave up the night before an interview. So I was like, okay, with all the rejection, I'm not feeling myself anymore. I'm not confident enough, so I'll stop there. And actually, my husband came to me and was like, okay, let's sit down, let's take a pen and paper, and let's write all the skills you had before being a UX designer. Forget about the UX designer, but focus on what you were before. So he wrote down the things from my previous experience, like working under pressure, collaborating with different cultures as well, the determination that I had to change career. And he said, okay, so it's at that moment that I realized transferable skills were so important. So the day after I went to my interview, and I thought about all this, and I shared that to the recruiter. And that was that moment where I say, okay, he was right. And that's the kind of work I need to put in myself. And I got the job. So I was really happy. And thanks to him, actually, to coach me. And yeah. And it was my job as a product and experience designer.
That's such an incredible story. First of all, like, you had a courage companion. Your husband was your courage companion who kind of helped you see the opportunity and see what was already in you that you hadn't seen. And he was able to help you find out, like, what was there that you needed to tap into. And the beauty of really recognizing the fact that your past experience does very much inform and contribute to what you're capable of next. And also, it makes you, it's going back to the personal branding, it's what sets you apart and makes you unique. You know, like your journey as a flight attendant, your journey creating an exceptional customer experience in that realm makes you a very unique candidate for the UX position because of the new skills that you had learned too. So it kind of, I think, helps you stand out rather than blend in with everyone else.
Exactly.
To be able to highlight those things.
But we need to see it that way. And sometimes when you're just overwhelmed by things, you don't really see your own value or what you can bring, something different to the company. You just focus on, okay, they want this list of requirements and I need to fit that and then I need to show that I'm the UX designer that they want. And you tend to forget. So having someone to sometimes just light the things up, it can be really
yeah, which is also, like, I think, a great example of how valuable that it can be to have a mentor, right? Because a mentor who's been down the path or can give you an outside perspective is really helpful in giving you the courage and the support that you need to take that next step. And so in this example, your husband served as kind of like an informal mentor, right? Like, there's so many different kinds of mentoring relationships. You have these formal mentoring relationships, maybe supervisory relationships, like a traditional mentorship situation, but there's mentorship relationships all around us. And how can we be very intentional about looking for those opportunities? And in your case, I think that was a really beautiful pairing. Sounds like you've got a fantastic partner. So cool. What do you love most about being a woman in tech?
Well, me being with you today, that's part of it. Honestly, I love the vibe and the community that we are building. as women in tech. It's kind of it's an innovating sector. So we have infinite possibilities and opportunities, and we just need to position ourselves on it and to attract those opportunities. So that's why I love being a woman in tech now. We can also impact, of course, the vision, the long-term vision in companies by pushing boundaries. And making space for women like me with a non-tech background. We can bring some things during meetings as well that they wouldn't think of, sorry. And by showing that we can bring different perspective and that can shape the future and for other women as well. So that's what I love about being a woman in tech.
I love that. So I hear community. And I will say my experience is similar to yours. I'm not an engineer. I don't have any software engineering background. And I had a completely different career before I came into the tech space. So we have a very similar trajectory. Like coming out of college, I worked in the wellness and marketing industry. We did like direct to consumer marketing programs. And then I worked for a manufacturing company and managed their marketing department and then moved into the tech space. So similar kind of journey. And I found the same thing. I have found what has been so beautiful about transitioning to tech is the community, is the women who are so supportive and the men. There's so many wonderful allies that I've had the privilege of working with that are just incredible. And so I've really enjoyed the community aspect of it too. And I love what you shared too about innovation. And how when you're in tech, it's exciting because there's such a focus on what's next and what's new and innovation, which can be really, it's just fun. It's fun to think about like what's next and what's new and what can we build and how can we be creative and explore new ideas. And as women, you also said something I think very important is that because of your past experience, which was very different, you were able to see the problems from a completely different lens, almost like an outsider's perspective, which is so important for innovation. We need to have like those voices that have different experience that, aren't in it all the time and haven't been in it for 20 years to actually be able to see maybe, did you think about it this way? Yeah. That's where really true innovation happens. And it can be very exciting to be part of that process. And I think that sometimes people get hung up on, well, I haven't been in this industry for 20 years, so I don't know, so I can't speak up. Well, actually, what if you turned that around and flipped it and said, I haven't been in this industry for 20 years, so I have a really cool perspective and I need to share it. Exactly. Right? Like, I think it's all in the way that you frame it rather than seeing it as a negative thing. How can you turn it around and see it as a beautiful gift the way that you have?
Yeah, you can bring so much more with a new perspective and new fresh set of eyes into the product or even something else in life. So it's important to see it that way.
Yeah. So I love the work that you and I have just like so much synergy in terms of like mentorship and community. And it's just like such a joy. What is it that mentorship means to you personally? And why are you so committed to it?
I wish I had that when I started my career. There's a lot of initiative that I can see around women in tech and mentoring, and I love it. And I think it's kind of important because most of the time we are alone in a room with men trying to prove ourselves. And yeah, I had to prove all the time the image beyond the flight attendants. So it's kind of so I know the feeling, and going back to a mentoring program or having a community that can support women, where we can share struggles, challenges. It can be really powerful. And having this strength, you don't feel alone anymore. You have this community, and it can push you with how do you say that? But to succeed even more.
Mm-hmm.
You just have a boost, and then you go back there, and you're like, okay, I have all my women behind me, and everything's going to be fine. So,
Yeah, you're so true. Like that, having that support is so important. And I mean, the research shows this. Research shows that people who have a strong social support network are more resilient and more able to bounce back from setbacks, And let's be honest, when you're in tech, there are setbacks and you're going to be in rooms where you are going to be the only woman and it can feel isolating. I mean, that's just the reality. It's getting better, right? Like it's definitely getting better, but there are definitely times when you are feeling like you have to prove and persuade. And so having a community of women behind you who are like, I get it. I've been there. And here's what I've tried that's worked is such a great power, can be such a confidence builder in the spaces. And it's very systemic, right? Like this systemic, it's nothing that's an intentional thing. It's not like men are intentionally trying to make it difficult for women. I don't see that at all. It's just part of the kind of like the underlying structure that kind of is what perpetuates it. This feeling sometimes of that you have to prove and that you feel isolated. So, I completely agree with you that the community can make such a difference. So cool. Inez, I would love to hear from you. Who is a woman in history who has inspired you and why?
Well, my background is aviation. I still love aviation. You can see the plane there behind me.
Yes.
But I would say Thérèse Pelletier. So she's the first woman she's the first pilot woman who flew an airplane. So she inspires me because, first of all, she was the first doing that in men's world. And she had to prove that she could do a technical job and a risky one. What I love about her story is that she was an artist, sculptor, and she actually kind of made a career change to be a pilot. So that's really, really inspiring. And doing that, she actually she didn't fly a lot. It was just, sorry, I need to get back to the first sentence.
Yeah, no problem.
So her first flight was not a perfect one. So she flew, it was a short flight, but then it shows to women that even if it's not perfect, you can do it for the first time. And she opened doors to so many women after that now are in flight decks, flying A380. So that's the one that comes to my mind first.
That's incredible. I think you hit the nail on the head. Even if you can't do it perfect, it's still good, right? Yeah. Because I think as women, I know myself have struggled with, I've got to do it right. If I don't do it right, I'm not good enough. Then it's not worth it. But in order for anyone to get good at anything, you have to try and mess up. It's just the way it goes. You're never going to develop any sort of skill unless you actually fall down and try it. You have to start somewhere. And so I think we have to embrace that kind of like, it's like my daughter when she was learning to walk, Inez. Like I'll never forget my oldest when she was learning to walk. And you may remember this with your son when he was learning to walk. I remember I have this video of her. She's wearing like this little leopard shirt and she has these little pink shorts on. And she started walking and she was laughing. She laughed the whole time and she totally collapsed after like 3 steps, right? Like she didn't walk perfectly and she laughed the whole time. And then she picked herself up and she tried it again. And she went like maybe 3 steps again and collapsed on the floor laughing. And I love this memory because it's just, I loved that. I love how, if you think about children, they just go for it and they have fun while they're falling. Like how can we have fun while we're trying something new, knowing that the goal is not to just do it perfectly, but the goal is just the joy of trying something new,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
And I just love that. That's a really cool example. So what was her name again? What's the name of this? I've never heard of her before. What's her name?
The name of the pilot?
Yeah.
Thérèse Pelletier. So I say it with French. She's French. So French.
Thérèse Pelletier. Okay, so she must be like a French hero. I've never heard of her. I need to look her up. This is so cool.
And there was an American woman as well who had, for the first time, the pilot license, but it came later in his story. So.
Oh, very cool. Thérèse Pelletier. Okay, I love this. And so, as you think about like some of the things that have inspired you, what are some of the values that she had that you really love and that you want to kind of honor in your own life and career?
I think determination, and also the courage to do something bold, and determination because I'm sure she had so many challenges before her first flight, because the flight is just the results of her work. Just before flying, you need to prepare so many things. You need to study many things as well. So we just see the flying, the action, but determination, I think it will be one of the value that I can relate to a little bit in my level. But I had the determination to change career and to succeed.
I love it. What's next for you, Inès? What are you most looking forward to? What are you determined to tackle next in your career and in your life?
Well, my goal is to inspire someone to take action, even if it's just a small step, and to gently push them out of their comfort zone. That's someone did that for me, and that's my goal. I really want to do that, and that's why I'm taking this path of mentoring. Because if I can inspire someone and do something that they were not comfortable with, I'll be so happy to share that experience. So.
You got me all verklempt. That's beautiful. You mentioned that someone did that for you.
Yeah.
Who was that person? I'd love to know more.
Sure. I used to study fashion design, and I had my art teacher. She took me apart once, and she said, "Okay, Inès, sit down. You have so much potential, but I can feel that you're scared of going out of your comfort zone." She took pen and paper. You see, I love pen and paper. Everyone is doing that. It's really important to go back to basics, I think, and take pen and papers all the time to reflect on what we're doing. That was just... But she drew a square, and she said, "Okay, you here inside the square, you have your home, school, and that's it. And you don't go out of the square, and you need to go out of the square to see the magic happen." So I was like, okay, but at the time I was maybe 18 years old. I didn't get it at all, but it stayed with me. And every choices I made following that was with this picture, this square, and me inside in my mind. So the choice I made, it was all the time trying to go outside of this box. So that's why now I want to take the story in the small square and help someone else do it as well. And I think that's how I became flight attendant. Just to, okay, let's do it. Let's move alone to Dubai and travel the world, become a flight attendant, and then let's work in tech. There's no woman, but you can do it. So go for it.
That is such a very, very powerful story. And it's powerful how that one lesson, that one moment that happened has stuck with you all these years. And that one moment has influenced so many of the decisions that you've made. It highlights to me that like the power that we have to touch someone else's life, sometimes it's just in those small moments, and that can really be very powerful. And I loved what you shared about how she said the magic is outside of the box.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Inez, I can totally tell you that is so true. Anytime I have stepped into something that was uncomfortable, that I didn't know, that stretched me, there has been so much magic on the other side. So for our listeners out there, if there's like something that scares you that you really feel curious about, your like body is telling you, hey, I'm interested in exploring this. Do it. Because there is absolutely magic on the other side. I love that. That's such a powerful story.
Yeah, that's actually even right now. I'm out of my comfort zone, to be honest with you. So, but I do it, even though I have imposter syndrome. Let's be transparent here. I do have imposter syndrome, but I take it in a way that when imposter syndrome is showing up, it means I'm growing, actually. So, okay, it's here. I acknowledge it. I'm going there. Everything's going to be fine, and I'm sure that the magic will happen. That's it.
Oh my gosh, it's happening right now, for sure. Yeah. You've inspired me with your story so much, Inez. And you showing up today the way that you have, like, it's just so very, very powerful. Your grit and your determination, and you have such a big heart. It just comes through so much, that how much heart you have, and how much you care and want to help. And the fact that you came on today, and you like your vulnerability and saying this is out of your comfort zone, is such an example to so many women who are afraid to speak. And I'm just really like honored and proud to have you on the show and share. It's very special.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you're going to get me, like, I'm crying, Inez. Oh my goodness. So as we close out our show today, I would love to know, Hello Moxie. I love to ask all my guests what the word Moxie means to them. And I know it's a very American word. So I'm curious, do you know this word? Is it something that you've ever heard of before, is my first question.
To be honest, I searched it after our first email exchanges.
Oh, okay, yeah.
A program's called Hello Moxie, but what does it mean? Because it's true, it's American, and I didn't really hear about this word. So yeah, I just Googled it a little bit, and but to answer your question, I can relate to that world, and I think in this session I said it many times, but courage and determination, I think those are my words, and
yes,
that could be, tell me if I'm right, but that could be my Moxie, maybe. So
totally. Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's so fun and interesting is every time I ask that question of a guest, they usually come up with a different answer.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of fun. And a lot of them are very similar, right? Courage, determination, grit, chutzpah, And so I love to ask you to just see, like, what does it mean to them? But yeah, and then you have it in spades. So thank you for being like such a wonderful, like, for embodying that energy and bringing it to the show today. It's been such an honor to have you on the show. And I would love for you to share with our listeners a little bit more about your personal branding mentorship work, and how they can get a hold of you. How can they reach you if they want to connect with you and learn more about the mentorship and the programming that you're doing?
Sure. So yes, I'm using my own experience to guide women in tech. I do use a methodology that we use in UX design. It's design thinking methodology. So that's many methods that allows you to put your shoes into the user and to build a human product, to be user friendly. So those methods, I adapted them to empower women in tech and craft an authentic personal brand. And by starting researching on themselves first, interviewing themselves, to be able then to really define what's their story, how they want to show up. And yes, that's something that I like to do. And yeah. yeah.
Amazing. It's okay. It happens to the best of us, I swear, all the time. I lose my words. I'm like, oh, what was I saying? No, but yeah, that's so fantastic. And so what's your Instagram handle? Where can people find you on Instagram and LinkedIn?
So you can find me on Inès Intech on Instagram, or there is Inès Baccari via LinkedIn. Please feel free to reach me. I'm happy to make connections. I've met many wonderful women, so I love this journey. And if you want to audit your personal brand with me, let's work together. We'll do that.
Yes, let's do it. Oh my goodness. So cool. You have to connect with Inez. She has a beautiful Instagram channel, and it's just such a joy to share this journey with you, Inez. Thank you so much for being on the show today and being my guest. And until next time, say Hello Moxie.
Thanks for listening to the Hello Moxie podcast. If today's story sparks something in you, share it with another woman who's ready to rise. Learn more about our community by visiting hellomoxie.us and discover how the Moxie method can help you reclaim your voice and lead with impact. See you next time.